Happy Wednesday. I touched on this several months or weeks ago in the Express Yourself video, so you can refer back to the Express Yourself video. I believe that's what it's called. I usually don't have the time to look back at the videos because I'm a busy person. I have a family. I have a son. I have people depending on me every day to furnish their needs, address their emotional needs, and yeah, that's life as an adult. So look at here. What I talked about in the Express Yourself video is kind of on the lines of this, you know, just trying to recollect the ideas from back then. But what I was thinking about today when I was walking was this. You have to go radical in the direction of who you really are within yourself. Who are you? How do you want to express yourself? You have to be radical about it because that's where the creativity is going to open up within you. See, when you're bunched all up and you're letting social sanctions and people and not wanting to look, you know, silly or, you know, or worried about what other people think, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. That's just the way that it is. I have people that I go to when I feel the need that things need to be changed, and that have the go-ahead to tell me when there's things in my life that I need to change. Now, is this my self-expression? If it's something that's negative or whatnot, I want these people that are much wiser than me, that are hand-picked, you know, to tell me what needs to be fixed or how I need to change it. But really, in all reality, that has nothing to do with the form of expression that I use the majority of the time. And I'm talking about the way you dress, the way you talk, you know, the way you operate with, you know, on your job, any of that. You have to be yourself. Now, you know, that's the reason why a lot of people have these problems on jobs, because, you know, they want to tell you how to be. They want to tell you how to act. They want to tell you how to carry yourself. And you have to ask yourself, is that job for you? Because I'm telling you right now, and I've done a lot of research on this topic because I research leadership daily. Most people are not happy on their job. What's the number one reason? Because they can't express themselves. They can't be who they are. They feel bottled up. They're doing something that they don't enjoy. So see, we can jump on that really fast. That falls right in there. If you're not doing what you enjoy the majority of the time in your life, are you being yourself? Are you taking advantage of your inner creativity, or are you bottling that up? See, a lot of the time, you can't start your company or start your nonprofit organization or start your hobby or whatever because you haven't even unlocked who you are. Because job controls you. Family ideals, you know, what people in your family think you should be, think, you know, you should, who you should be with, you know? I mean, I've dealt with that before. Friends and family telling you who you should be with, who you're supposed to love, who you're supposed to want to spend time with, who you should want to be friends with. Self-expression. If those are the people that you want to be around, why is it that you're letting other people tell you who you need to be friends with or who you need to be in a relationship with? All of these things will sooner or later, you know, it'll dwindle who you are internally down to nothing. Who you are will be like pea size inside of you, and you'll be, you know, orchestrating your life in a manner to where you don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't want anyone to see the real me. I've seen many people like that. Now, as you get older, you know, usually people will start to, you know, grow out of that because it's a very immature mindset. You know, and if you're all about self-growth and about getting things and you have to conform, you know, for, you know, money or whatever, then you have to ask yourself, is that something that you want to do with your life? I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is this. You have to pay attention to what it is inside of you that gives you strength. And from what I've read and researched over and over again, and applying my own personal life experience for making these same mistakes before, if you're not expressing who you are and you're not being the real you, you do not think on a higher level when it comes to creativity, because you're not willing to open up. Your idea may be something that's crazy, you know, and I don't condone this, so, you know, don't go there, but I'm just using this guy. And a lot of people tend to use him when they talk about creativity. Hugh Hefner did most people, when he started doing this, you know, pornographic thing in the 50s, were they riding with him, or were people like, oh no? People were like, oh no, even though behind closed doors they were probably like, yeah, you know, yeah, Hugh, you know. In the public eye, people persecuted this guy. But if he wouldn't have been the real him, he wouldn't have achieved what he wanted to achieve. And whether you like it or not, the guy's happy. The guy has probably one of the happiest lives out there. Is what he's doing right? You know, I'm not the one to judge. Is it the life for me? No. I'm a one-woman man. That's how I'm cut. But I you know, I endorse this, and I live this idea of being exactly who I am, always. You know, regardless of, you know, what people think or whatever, unless it's those mentors who, as I said before, are handpicked, and they're people that have, you know, enormous levels of intelligence and life experience compared to me. So those are the people that I go to for my wisdom and for my reality checks. I don't go to peers or bums for a reality check. It just, over the years, it just didn't add up. Because see, another thing you have to remember is that people that are on your, you know, I've talked about this peer level before. Your peers are going to be the ones that are going to be jealous 9 times out of 10. Your peers are going to be the ones that are haters, is what they like to call them 9 times out of 10, because they're on the same level as you. And most people don't think in abundance. They think on this, you know, competitive plane. Oh, you know, you could be doing something that's not even in the area of what they're doing, but they still, for some reason, have some kind of, you know, a feeling of, you know, decay in their existence, or decay in their, you know, reality, you know, of, you know, if you're doing better than them, oh God, you know, I feel horrible now that they're doing better than me. You deal with that when you go to peers, you know. Now, is that everybody? Is that every situation? No, but that's what I've had to deal with. So I had to adjust accordingly. So, coming back with simplicity, just be yourself. You know, I know it's not easy. You know, there's exercises, once again, that you could research online to open up and to be yourself. But most of the time it's that job. You know, most of the time it's family trying to tell you how to live. You know, your parents wanted you, we wanted you to be this person. We wanted you to be a lawyer. We wanted you to get a degree. Maybe that's not for you. You know, for me, the degrees was my thing. You know, for everybody, that's not their thing. But I loved it. I loved school. I loved, you know, pushing myself, and, you know, that's life. Be yourself. Happy Wednesday.